And good afternoon. We are live. This is Dr. Kimberly, and you are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. Dave is on a temporary assignment, so he'll be rolling through here pretty quickly. But guess what, guys? We are now in year two. Can you believe it? And so we're going to spend some time going back to some of our previous guests. And I am so excited to have with us today Miss Shonda Davis, who is in Detroit, Michigan. Whoa. And we're all the way over in Riverdale, California at the same time with
Riverside.
Damn state.
Mr. John Adams.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you today, sir?
I'm fine. That's Riverside, California. There is a Riverdale, so
Did I say Riverdale? Y'all forgive me. I'm
what
trying to be
are you
cute.
doing
Let
today,
me
Doctor?
pull these glasses out. Keep my notes. I'm trying to be cute. Y'all know I'm trying to be cute. Trying to be cute.
You are beautiful.
Trying to be cute. What? But anyway, so we're so excited to have you back on the show today, and we are still in the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, still in-
We're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes.
But I hear that there is some great news. In fact, I have a video from, here we go, we're going to add it to the stream. This is Tent City. Did I get that right, sir?
No, ma'am. It was called Veterans Row, kind of like the equivalent to Skid Row.
Wow.
However, I am very happy to report that no longer exists.
Woo-hoo!
Hey,
Yes!
don't celebrate too fast, because we're dealing with the Veterans Administration, and if you give me a minute, I'll kind of give you a rundown on just how and what happened. Okay, we're in a big campaign to get these folks off of the street into some type of either temporary or permanent housing. The city of Brentwood and the Veterans Administration came up with the brilliant idea that instead of trying to relocate these people, they would just bring them onto the VA campus, put them in these little tiny houses, which initially was a awesome idea. They dragged their feet in the beginning, but eventually they did construct probably about 60, 65 of these little tiny houses. In our opinion, we thought that was going to be a great thing because it was getting these guys off of the street into some type of a shelter, a roof over their head, basically. The VA is not a very. I don't want to cut them down too bad, but they just didn't do the job the way it should have been done. They brought these people onto their campus. They put them and instead of giving them the little tiny houses, we have a facility out here in Riverside where the little tiny house consists of a space big enough for you to have a bed, a dresser, a microwave, and a little tiny refrigerator, and a restroom facility. The little boxes that they gave them in LA are just that. They are big enough for a cot and maybe a few personal items. So yeah, they got them out of a tent and put them into a box.
My grandmother would call that, jumping out of the frying pan into the fire.
Exactly. Now, the thing that's bothering us about that situation is this: they moved these people off of the street into the VA facility, but then they cut them off from all the support that we was giving them. We can no longer support those individuals. They will not allow us onto the campus.
Wow. So we kind of have a catch-22, and I think that there are many people who receive government benefits, and yet it's always, well, I want to go to work, but guess what? I don't have a job. that can fully support my family. And I believe that Dave has joined us. Let's see. Here we go. See, how can I don't know how to do this. Oh, there you go. You gotta. There we go. Boop, 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 boop.
Hey, Dave.
Hey,
You
Dave.
didn't tell me that Laker fan was going to be on the show today.
Yeah. One of the other things that I was really upset about that transition that they made, they moved these guys into the, like I said, these little tiny box houses, and they won't allow them to have the key.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna take a break right there. And we're going to say good afternoon, everybody. Dave has now arrived, and you are rolling on the road, Dr. Kimberly and Dave. We are now beginning our year 2 of having, been rocking and rolling, and we are split between, I'm going to get this right, it is Riverside. We are in Riverside, California, as well as Detroit, Michigan. And then, of course, we're over there in Byron Center in Michigan. And we're over there in
Easttown, Grand Rapids.
Yes. So we have a pretty eclectic show today as far as where everyone is from. And we want you to know that we have sponsors now. And today's show is sponsored by You Nailed It by Amber Grace. I didn't have an opportunity to get them on yet, but they are press-on nails. So when you guys see me and I have these wonderful nails, just know they came from You Nailed It, press-on nails by Amber Grace. And we have a comment. Hey, we said greetings from, where are we? Maryland. Hey, how's it going, Gracie?
Hey, Maryland.
Thank you for tuning in all the way from Maryland. Whoop, whoop. Boy, we're just rolling all over the states. I tell you, we're doing some wonderful things here. We are in all 50 states and we are in 9 countries. And I'm telling you, our top states across the United States, can you believe it, is New York and California.
Right.
So how exciting is that? But if you remember, we're going to pull up the video real quick, that when we had John on before, he showed us this about all of these homeless veterans that were living in these tents. And we got excited because we found out that, guess what? After the show aired, you know how they do, like on Steve Harvey. Well, all of these vets, they were taken off the streets, but now we're saying that John was kind of letting us know that they went from a whole 4-room glamping tent
Exactly.
to be put into a little outhouse. I don't know.
Exactly. That's exactly. Like I said, they moved from that sizable tent, which was probably, some of them had those big 2-room tents, and now they're in this little box that's big enough for, like I said, a cot, maybe a space to store a few personal items, but other than that, that's it. And like I said, like I was saying before the break, one of the things that really upset me about that transition was the fact that, okay, you moved these guys off the street, you moved them onto what you call a safe camping environment, into a box. You made it so that the support that organizations like mine, Wellness for Veterans, was given them. We were taking food and clothing, and we would have cookouts and all that. We can't do that anymore because we're not allowed on their campus. But the thing that really gets me is the fact that they give these guys these little boxes, and when they leave, they cannot lock that box up. They cannot lock their personal belongings up. You can lock it up while you're in it to stop anybody from coming in on you, but once you leave, it's open to the public, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Right.
And these are in LA, John? Where are these?
These are in the city of Brentwood, right across. This is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, there was a VA facility in Los Angeles, a VA hospital facility that was built back in the 1800s. And when it was decommissioned uh, with a stipulation that it would be turned into a veteran facility. That didn't happen. That didn't happen until just recently when they allowed those vets off of the street onto their campus. But they cut off all the outside support, and when I say outside support, I'm referring to charitable organizations such as
But
mine.
John, we know, especially those people who are homeless, can be somewhat transient. Not in the sense that, okay, I'm not going to stay one place, but they do go to other, organizations or facilities in order to get assistance.
Right.
So, they are still allowed. So you're saying that you're not necessarily in a brick and mortar, or it was safer for you to deliver your services directly to them instead of them having to come to a brick and mortar?
Um, the way they have it set up now is they have established a pantry of their own. All the services that we were providing had to be cut off. If
Oh, okay.
out-
So
if
help
they were
me.
outside of that facility, we could probably still support them, but as long as they're on the VA campus, they won't allow us in there.
Okay, but if they can still get to you, then that's
Yes, if
okay.
they come off of that campus onto the street, they can take whatever services we can provide them with. But then the city of Los Angeles has given us a hard time about being on the street and passing stuff out.
Okay, so you need a brick, a
A brick
standalone
and
brick and
mortar where I
mortar.
can set up and they can come and see me and I can give them stuff. And I don't have to worry about being parked on the street with my van passing out stuff.
Right. And I
Actually,
just want to say this for the people that's
um,
just tuning in. California has the largest homeless population of veterans. So that's why our center of attention is really focused in California, although we have vets all around, but California has the largest homeless population. So as long as they are on the VA property or hospital, then they can't get those brick and mortar services for help. They have to come out. And then even when they come out to get the stuff, sometimes they're not allowed to bring it back in.
exactly.
Okay, see that's the piece I'm trying to get to. Where is the disconnect?
Yeah, so that's the disconnect. So they can leave and come get the stuff, but they can't bring it back in because the VA didn't give it to them. So the VA is putting a stop on services like Wellness for Veterans and other organizations that want to help these veterans. The VA is putting a stop on it. But then the VA is not stepping up to the plate to give these people the proper services they need.
Here's
So
here's
it's like darn if you do, darn if you don't.
here's
Okay.
one of the tips they threw at us. They said if you want to donate stuff, it has to be brand new in its original packaging.
Well, that now is a stipulation that is nationwide with any organization that is giving anything away due to COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
That's something that has happened due to COVID, that they're asking the items now be brand new.
And it should be for sanitized purposes, cleanliness and stuff.
Absolutely.
I thoroughly understand. But we were doing things like carrying individual gift bags, we'll call them, and we would include things like toilet paper, toothpaste, a toothbrush, maybe some peanut butter, some canned goods that they could eat right out of the cans and stuff like that. Well, because we did things like buy toilet paper in bulk and then break it down, they didn't want that. We bought things like um, saltine crackers that have 4 packs in a box, and so we divide up. You can't do that. Things like that. Things that we were trying to make it convenient for the people on the street, but
And we understand that. And because I do want to make sure this is clear, because we don't have a representative today from the VA or from that particular facility or that program to
right.
refute anything that you're saying, or maybe give clarity to the people. I can't tell you how to think, but we do ask that you keep an open mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there definitely is a difference between one who provides a service and one who is the consumer. And so sometimes, as one who provides a service, we may not know all the ins and outs of, what our services are providing, what they're not providing, whether it's working or not working. And let's celebrate the fact that the VA said yes, and we got them off the street.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know about you, but the weather around here has been pretty crazy. And so it's nice.
Right.
That is definitely a plus.
So we really want to focus on what have they done right. And I think if in less than a year's time, from the time that you have been on the show and now that you've come back, that the veterans that we just showed you the video of are now in a brick and mortar, we really want to separate that. I mean, we want to celebrate it. And Dave, okay, we see that ponytail. See, people like Dave
to check. I'm just
to cut their ponytails off so that we can provide better services, to our consumers.
We're definitely going to continue. We're up on those guys. We're still able, like you said, whether the VA likes it or not, we're still going to pull up on the side of the road and let those guys know we're there. We have clothes that have been donated. We have a facility here in Riverside that actually brings the clothes in, washes them, folds them, separates them by size and everything. So we're still going to support them, but we have to do it in a way that kind of a go around, I guess you would say, because
absolutely. And I think that we have enough pull over here in Michigan that I'm sure that we can make a couple of phone calls over to Brentwood. We'll, of course, after the show, get more information and make phone calls and see what we can do on this end. Definitely, I know that each Center for Independent Living has a basic set of things that they offer persons with disabilities. And then there are some that have more specialty programs, like here in Kent County, we offer, peer support. Dave, you want to talk a little bit about what Disability Advocates of Kent County does for their veterans?
Well, I mean, the most important thing we try to do with veterans is, after everything we do is about your self-directed life. Where do you want to go? What do you want to be about? And how do we help, work alongside where you want to end up? And then that being said, it's, connecting you to every benefit that you have earned. A good friend of mine who he also was in the Navy, and he just discovered like a year ago that he was eligible for all that medical stuff, Dr. Kimberly, that you talk about. Mm-hmm. And because, part of his, since I'm not using his name, part of his disability with his ADHD, he hates forms and he hates paperwork. And when you say Veterans Administration benefits, that equals paperwork, right? And
you have to a lot of it.
Exactly. And so he actually, his sister-in-law took him by the ear out to the clinic, and he's like, oh my gosh, I had all this stuff that I could have been taken advantage of. So we love connecting people to benefits that they have earned and
deserve.
Exactly. And then we go from there. As Dr. Kimberly said, we also provide peer support. We provide job
training and coaching.
Job training so that people, they work for us, get paid by the VA as a job exploration. That's tier 1 for 6 to 9 months. And then tier 2, we actually help them get jobs in the community where, again, the VA continues to pay while they explore these different careers. So we're doing that work. And then last but not least, we have truly, not to brag up, I keep seeing that Lakers stuff behind you, John, but to brag up, we have a national model of a home accessibility assessment and then how to help people knock down barriers in their home. Kent County Veterans Services has funded a lot last year, and we're getting ready to sign a new contract for this year. So again, veterans, or so like for Dr. Kimberly, if she wasn't a veteran, Stanley, her husband, who is, since he would be caregiver, we could do accessibility work in her house. The veteran doesn't have to be the person with a disability. So as long as a person in the veteran's household is, but again, that's only Kent County, Michigan. And so and the person who continues to get all our credit is Trina Edmondson on our staff. Trina, whose dad and husband are veterans, she is so passionate about doing everything we can to help veterans, and Dr. Kimberly's heard it too many times. I am the long-haired socialist in the room. I do not believe in the creation of veterans. However, I believe once a veteran is created, it's 100%, no questions asked. It's like if we're sending people their life, I mean, just the trauma that has been experienced over the last generation of servicemen and women getting sent overseas, and the trauma that's experienced not going overseas. It's like, for goodness sakes, Class A, number one, best care, support. And then I'm clicking on some pictures here. I wish I knew how to share a screen. There's like this veterans encampment, and we think like we're patting ourselves on the back, like that's a good thing. We're building tents for these people, and we got nothing but money in this country, and we can't. And I'm the long-haired hippie freak here. Saying we can't do better for our veterans.
Yeah. And Dave, excuse me, I want to piggyback off with something you said, Dave. They can get help from you in Kent County. However, with Wellness for Veterans, we are connected with Home Depot, because Home Depot has a veterans program, and where they used to have it where they supply the materials and have the people to fix the houses. But since COVID, only thing they can do is supply the materials. So we do have that for all over Michigan for veterans. So if they do need like house repairs or, bathroom, roof or things, we can get them the material for free through Home Depot, through the program. So I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying, Dave, about the help, because that goes into the same category.
Absolutely. Again,
you guys heard it here first on Rolling on the Road.
Yes,
and
I haven't even put it on the website, so they truly have heard it here first. Because that Home Depot program is not even on the website, so it was said here first, exclusively. No other show, no other website, here first. And then this week we'll put it on the website, so it's here first.
Because it's about helping as many as possible, because we do have we still have a great crew of volunteers that help, and they're volunteers who are licensed contractors. So and then we have people that, when we do have resources to pay to do the work, I don't know what it's like in Detroit or in LA, but holy mackerel, it's terrible to find anybody who knows which end of a hammer do you swing.
Yeah, same here.
But that being said,
all over though.
What's that?
It's the same everywhere. We have the same issues here.
Yeah, we got to get, kids. If you're listening to this, Grand Rapids Community College has an awesome program, skilled trades. Get in there, learn a trade, make some good money, and help.
And it helps us to create small businesses.
Right.
Exactly.
I just saying. So we are now 24 minutes after the hour of 4. Can you believe it? And you are tuned into Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. We want to say thank you so much to our guests who are here. We are in 4 cities on one show today. Can you believe it? But we want to say thank you to our sponsor of You Nailed It, Press On Nails by Ember Grace. And I promise by next show, I'll have a set on and you guys will be like, oh my God, how did she do that? Again, it's what we do here at 100 Shades of Diversibility. Everybody has something that they can do. And everyone doesn't feel comfortable being in this new world that we have. People still adamant about not being vaccinated. Oh Lord, anyway, it's not that kind of a show. So you have to figure out a different way in order. How do I give back to society and earn a living? And I'm telling you, small businesses are the way to go.
All right. So I got a couple quick questions for John. So John, you are in the Los Angeles area, correct?
Yeah, in the I'm about 30 miles east of LA.
Okay. And so I heard tell there was a Super Bowl there recently. And
Yeah.
now I'm not going to say anything about the Super Bowl itself, but did sometimes when big international events happen, the city cleans up the streets? So like, did they tear down a bunch of
There
it?
wasn't a homeless person within 10 miles of SoFi Stadium. They cleaned them out.
Wow.
Whoa.
And did they move them anywhere? Or they just moved them
No,
out?
they just dumped trucks and bulldozers.
Oh my
See,
God.
this is the part of the story that they probably didn't tell on
Nope.
NBC.
Of course not.
The local news kind of touched on it, but the only thing they basically said was that there wouldn't be a homeless individual within a certain perimeter of the stadium. I mean, along with that and the road closures, it was they had to make it as secure as they could, I guess, and I guess they feared the homeless people, so they cleaned them all out.
Fear the homeless. That sounds like a T-shirt. Fear the homeless.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought the scripture said feed the homeless. But I digress.
Yeah.
But
Well, hey,
it's funny because at any given moment we can be the homeless.
That's true.
Exactly.
The way this world is going and the economy and stuff, who's to say that tomorrow any of us will have a roof over our head?
This is
No,
true.
this is very true. But and some of the crazy things that we're dealing with right now. I went to a homeless encampment just a few days ago with food and stuff, and RPD pulled up, and these two young officers got out and asked me what I was doing, and it was obvious what I was doing. And of course, I explained myself, and they said, "Move on and get cited." And I said, "What? Cited for what? You're enabling vagrancy." Okay. I find out later this week that was they were just a couple of young rookies that were hassling me because there is no such ordinance.
Wow.
So, that's kind of stuff.
Always have your cameras out.
Well, I have to deal with people that's down in that live under freeway underpasses, under bridges, in the riverbed. A lot of them are in the riverbed, the Santa Ana riverbed. And believe it or not, they don't like pictures. They don't want you to take their pictures. They don't want to be. Now, some of them will let you take their pictures, but for the majority, they're just like, I'm off the grid and I want to stay off the grid. Don't be taking my picture.
Well, no, when I say have your cameras out when it comes down to the law enforcement.
Oh. They
Yeah, no, not our veterans. We have to respect their privacy. I would never do that to them.
The officers, I wasn't even thinking at the time, names, badge numbers, that kind of stuff, because I took their word for it, and come to find out they lied to me. They just wanted, I don't know, maybe they wasn't having a good day and they want me to feed them or what. I don't know what their reasoning was, but it was not a good. I just packed my stuff up and left.
Well, John, we want to say
I turned around and went back that night and gave it to him anyway.
I'm sure you did. We want to say that we apologize that you had to have that experience, and we appreciate your tenacity even in the midst of something as tumultuous as that. And make you feel like, oh, I don't ever want to do this again. And to those young men, shame on you. Shame.
See, what they don't realize, you have somebody like John who's a veteran,
Mm-hmm.
and he's he's in his prime time of his life, right?
Go ahead and tell him I'm 73 years old.
He said it. You're how old?
73.
73 years old. And he gets up every single day and goes out there and take care of his brothers and sisters, which are the veterans.
Got to do it. The only way I can give back.
So we have him doing this. It's no excuse for anybody else.
Oh, absolutely not. We just we thank you for coming and for sharing your truth and learning more about what's happening. Hey, Dave. We know that, I think I mentioned it earlier, that each Center for Independent Living has different components to it based on where they are. But maybe off the top of your, long ponytail, you might be able to tell us what Centers for Independent Living may be close to the area where John is living that they could possibly get some assistance.
John, are you in Orange County?
I'm in Riverside County.
Oh, it's a different county.
Yes.
See, that I really love maps. And because Anaheim, California, we've had Larry Wanger on, who's the director of the Center for Independent Living in Anaheim.
Uh-huh.
Larry used to work for us here in Grand Rapids until he got tired of the snow and freezing rain. Oh, you're muted, John.
You muted yourself.
Unmute yourself.
Let me see. Can somebody write the word mute and hold it up? Let's write the word mute. Where's my pen? Oh, there you go. You have muted yourself, young man.
But reach out to Larry Wanger in Anaheim, and I don't know who, because I know they're just in Orange County, but because Riverside's right next door, he's got to know the Center for Independent Living in Riverside.
I lost my audio.
Okay, while he's getting his audio back, we want to say, hey, to Reginald Leon Howard. We call him, little Reggie around here. He's only like about 6'10", but that's little Reggie. But he works with the homeless veterans here in Kent County. And so if you're still watching, Reggie, this is John. John, meet Reggie. And John is gone now.
He'll be back.
John.
Yeah, everybody out there, you gotta forgive cousin John. He is new with this technology stuff, as most people 21 and over are in his age bracket.
Oh, I'm kind of freaking out how big I am on the screen here in my home office. But and then
wait a minute, here comes John. John's
John.
Hey!
John.
Yes.
Opa!
I'm back.
All right. And just for folks listening, it's ilru.org, and there's a national registry for Centers for Independent Living, and 6848 Magnolia Avenue in Riverside, California.
That's not far from me at all.
So It's called Community Access Center. Head over there. Tell them that the Center for Independent Living in Michigan said, what are you doing for veterans? And they better be doing enough. Or Dr. Kimberly's getting on a plane with Trina, and they're going to go teach them how to help veterans.
Okay, so it's called Community Access Center, and it is located where?
6848 Magnolia Avenue.
I know exactly where that is.
Magnolia.
Yep. And
Avenue.
So again.
And that's Riverside.
Riverside, CA.
Riverside, and comma, and there we go. And guess what? We're gonna click save and show. There you go.
Excuse me.
I need to excuse myself for about 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. And so again, folks, ilru.org. That's where the national registry is. I put in California, I put in Riverside, and boom, there it was.
All righty, can you give us that website again, please, sir?
ilru.org. And don't ask me what ILRU stands for. I always forget.
It's okay.
And there you go. So now it is.
Because that website will get you to every Center for Independent Living in the United States and get you connected. Because the beauty of the Center for Independent Living, as I said from the get-go, is that we help people get connected to what exists in the community.
Right.
Our biggest piece is to connect people to other people doing awesome stuff. In addition, then, before that, it's helping people figure out what they need and want. Some people are just hungry and they need food. We got food resources. People are like, well, I want to get a job so I'm not broke all the time. All right. But it's what you want to do. How do we help you?
Right.
And we made the mistake of helping Dr. Kimberly, and look what happened. Look what happened. She won't slow down. She won't slow down, folks.
Yeah, they gave me.
This is what happens when Trina works with you. You take over the world if you want to.
Okay,
if you want to.
Are we ready for this one? Drum roll, please. I think they may be announcing it already. So I know I had to wait until this afternoon before I could announce it. But I have been nominated for a Brilliance for Champion of Service Award through West Michigan Women's Magazine.
I gotta get my camera right.
I see that huge Emmy coming. I see huge awards, big things and stuff.
So next week we'll have the video up.
And
from their live, and we can run it on our show. But the Champion of Service, and I want to say thank you so much to Amber K. Watson, who nominated me, and thank you, Tracy. Tracy said, "Congratulations!" Oh,
yes, congratulations! Yes,
thank you.
Well, and again, it's that awesome. You just go for it. You see a need and you take care of it, and then you ask for help, and people help.
He's kind of like after the fact. Oh yeah, by the way, Dave, we can right through this, He's like, yeah, okay. What are your thoughts, Dave? But I am so excited, and I think about what agencies like John. I'm gonna pull him back in here. When
I'm sorry, cousin John, in that camera.
When I think about John, where I was at one point a homeless veteran, and to kind of go through the healthcare for homeless vet, making sure that I had all of my benefits, and start there, become even more disabled, where I required a wheelchair 100% of the time for my modality, and the VA to say, okay, this is why it's important to get connected, because there are so many programs that the VA has. I was in the voc rehab program, and when I became a full-time wheelchair user, they said, okay, well, we have another program. So I went into independent living, and through the independent living program, that's how I got connected to my Center for Independent Living, and came alongside, and look at me now.
That's great. Well, one of the things that I didn't touch on, and it's one of the obstacles that I'm dealing with, is the fact that some of these men in particular that I run into, they don't have a desire to deal with the bureaucracy.
And that's where you have an advocate. I have to definitely give a shout out to, Reggie Howard, who works with those veterans. And I'm telling you, we're going to have him back. I think that we had a great time here on the show with him.
Mhm.
Dave, I don't know what it is about this technology, but anyway. But I mean, it was just tremendous where he does meet those veterans that, what, I don't care what I have available. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go through the process. But I appreciate him because he takes them by the hand and he says, you know what, I'm going to walk this out with you. Make sure that you get what you need wherever you feel comfortable. So I just want to make sure that you have your money. So when you want to go get something to eat, you can. If you choose not to live, in a brick and mortar, where let us find a safer place, pop antenna, something is open that needs to be closed. Turn the volume down a little bit. And that's what I appreciate about him, is that he's going to meet you wherever you are and say, to whatever level you are comfortable with this, that's what we're going to do. So we can make the expectation that everybody who's homeless, some people choose to live that way. I know there's one of a great city official that I will name a name, but Dave knows her very well. And she had a sister that had mental illness and had a good family that could take care of her. She had a good check that was coming, and they would hold for her and give her what she needed. But she chose not to accept the responsibility. I just rather stay in my little bubble, deal with my mental issues my way, and I don't want to have to worry about paying bills, taking care of a house. I got friends out here. She figured out a way to live safely on the streets, and all they ever did was come along to make sure that she was still safe. If she wanted to come to anybody's house for dinner, sleep in a bed for the night, it was always made available to her. And so, just like with, you do with anything, is allowing people to have their options and not make the assumption that they are unhappy where they are.
Right. Most of them not happy with it, but there are where
Is everyone still there?
Yeah.
Okay. We need to
John keeps having his technical difficulties.
Yeah. It's not a good day in California today for John and technology. We're sorry out there.
all righty. So we're just gonna have to we'll do like that. And there we go. A little bit better audio.
Good.
So we're really sorry. But we are now at the 4:43 hour. We want to say thank you so much to our guests. John, who's having a little bit of technical difficulty. And we want to say hey. And thank you so much, Shonda, for coming back. Love your passion. Enjoy you. Oh, yeah, thanks to Dave. Hey, Dave.
Shonda, what is your website?
Okay, so the website is, we have the edengives.org, edengives.org. Now, Eden Gives is, we have contracts with Trader Joe's and other wonderful places where we pick up food 7 days a week, and we distribute it to people in Michigan that need food. We're in the schools from Grosse Pointe to Detroit. And we just kicking this thing off, making sure we can feed as many people as we can. And then we have the with John Adams, 420 wellness for veterans.com, which is in Michigan and California. Strictly anything that the veterans need and we can assist, we do. Even if it's a little thing, like if they want to go to the VA and they need help filling out their paperwork, they need a pair of glasses, or if they just, like you said, want to come off the street for one night and need a hot bath and a warm bed for the night, we're here for them. We're not going nowhere. my children and my family's very much involved. So even when I'm long and gone, my children will carry that torch and continue. And if my children are not there, we have wonderful people that's a part of our organization, and Dr. Kim and Dave and everybody to keep the ball rolling, you know, to help these people and bring awareness to it, because it's important. You know, these young people don't understand what a veteran is. They give our lives while we're sleeping peacefully in our beds. They over there fighting wars, losing their lives and body parts in their minds, and we're over here sleeping peacefully. You know, this is serious. You know, and they deserve all the love that they can get in the services because they earned it. They literally, that word, I give my life, they literally give their life so we can have ours. And I don't think people really understand that if it wasn't for our veterans, it would be no us.
Dave?
You know, yeah, absolutely. And so for your service, and especially in the Big D and around, because as you pointed out, it's not just Detroit, it's every community there's people in need.
Right. Right.
Well, we want to say thank you so much for watching Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave today. For our guests, Ms. Shonda Davis and Mr. Bert Adams. Ms. Davis is in Detroit, and Mr. John is all the way in California. So we are so grateful to be Midwest and West Coast today. And I just want to say, if you are a veteran, you know, please, it behooves you, if nothing else, get your medical.
Yeah.
You know, and get your medical. You can get a shot, you can get the vaccine for free. You know, you could be seen, you can receive medications, and you don't have to pay them out of your pocket. And I would say, if nothing else, do it for your medical benefits. Do it for your medical benefits. And I know it's worth it. As a United States Navy veteran myself, I'm sitting in a wonderful chair that they curated for me. Medical, as you know, just had 2 major surgeries with them. And they did an awesome job. They did well. So for every bad thing that we find out, there are a whole lot more good. So, and we want to thank you. Nailed it. I give her grace for being our sponsor on today. We'll see you on next week.